Back in 2009, a popular expedition group called the Brothers were about to go and find the lost city of Thule. Sadly, however, their compasses were pointing in the wrong direction, and they accidentally landed on Easter Island. Now, you might be wondering, it is not the first Sunday after the first full moon, after the vernal equinox. The Christ was not resurrected on this day. Well, that is just the magic of Easter Island. It is drawn from the resurrection of Christ, and these really big, wacky heads. Speaking of these wacky heads, when they first arrived on the island, they thought they were just funky rocks, but upon closer inspection, they actually resembled a human head. And thus they said, oops, these are not rocks, these are actually heads. These rocky heads have baffled scientists for many years, but today we will be taking an in-depth look at these funny craniums and their secret that they've been hiding. First of all, who made these marvels of technology? Well, it is highly speculated that they were made by the Rapa Nui people of Easter Island. Rapa Nui, more like Pa Rapa Nui. Next, how did they make these wondrous marvels of technology? Well, it is speculated that they likely used their arms, or maybe even the keyboard that does not have any keys. Now, how would they be able to lift such majesties of stone into place? Well, recent measurements have shown that the rough poundage of each head is about 200 pounds. Each man can only lift a maximum of 100 pounds. This would mean that at least 2 men were required for the lifting of every head. However, many believe that there is more to these heads than what we see on the surface, that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Hypothetically, they are not actually made of ice. It is my personal belief that these heads are not without a body, and that under the ground, these massive stone men are in a constant T position. I theorize that these were created as a form of protection against invaders, just as the tsunamis were made to fight against the Mongols. It is likely that the natives were enveloped by greed, and thus tried to use these titans as a weapon on their conquest. It is also likely that God gave these stone men agency that allowed them to turn against their masters and fight for what they believed was right. And thus, this chapter of history came to an end. And these great stone beasts lie dormant, at least until they awake once more to fight the greed of our hearts.